guys, and thanks so much for joining me on my channel today. My name is Stephanie. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about dump and go crock pot meals. It is also a collab with Kelly from Kelly's Corner. Y'all already know I love this girl. I've done collab with her before. She's just so sweet and so down to earth. I just love her. And she makes such good dump and go crock pot meals. She just gets so creative with them. So I'm so excited to see what she's making. I will definitely be posting a link to her video and her channel below, so make sure to check that out. But let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, so first up is going to be these crock pot ranch pork chops with rice. This was super good and like comforting and delicious. I do have some suggestions, but I'll show you guys how I make it. Alright, so first up, I'm going to be putting my pork chops in here. I have my little spice mix here that I made myself, and some butter, cream of celery soup. It says to use cream of chicken or cream of mushroom, but I don't like the chunks. And I got 2 cups of water here, and 2 cups of chicken broth is what you're supposed to put in there. I cut back a cup of the water because it seemed like way too much liquid. Like, it turned out okay, but I just felt like there could have been like less liquid, and then the rice would have been more prominent, because it kind of ended up being like not like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was still really good. It just had quite the different texture. So I've got all my liquid in there, all my seasonings. I put the butter on top, and I'm just going to let that go until the pork chops are falling apart. And they were in there on low for like 5 hours, and then, I mean, they were so tender. Like, if you looked at them, they were falling apart. So I was just able to go in there and mash them up myself or shred them up myself. And then I put in this Knorr Urban Butter Sides rice. You can just also use 2 cups of long grain white rice. But unfortunately, I spilled mine all over the kitchen floor, so this is what I had to work with. This also may be why there was too much liquid, but whatever. It turned out really delicious. Once the rice is cooked up, about half an hour, you're going to add in about a cup of cheese. Mix that in there, stir it up, and let it sit. Turn off the heat, and you'll see I ended up putting up like a half cup of spinach in here. I forgot to add that to my little ingredient list, but this is what it looked like when it was done, and it was very, very tasty. So I just put this in a bowl here. This was so good again, like I said. It almost like, I've never had porridge before, but I feel like if I did, this would be the consistency. But I don't want to like put you guys off of this, because it was really good and the flavors were fantastic. It's just that I think that it called for like a cup too much liquid, especially for the rice I used. So that's why when I put my ingredients list, I cut it back a cup. But other than that, the flavors were there. It was just so good. Alright, next up is this Italian chicken soup. This has been something that I've been making for years. Every year I feel like I add a new vegetable or a new spice to it, and I'll show you guys how I make it. So I have all my ingredients laid out here. I got my veggies chopped up. I got my chicken in the bottom of the crock pot. I'm going to go ahead and add in this garlic and herb. It's supposed to be Italian dressing seasoning, but they were out of that, so they subbed in this garlic and herb, which is just as good. I really didn't taste the difference. And then I'm going to add in all my veggies, and I'm just kind of seasoning as I go along. I know once I dump the liquid in here, most of the seasoning will fly off, but I figured I would just do it this way, just to really season every level. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and keep layering and seasoning. Alright, so now that everybody's in there, I'm just going to go ahead and let this go on low for about 5 hours, just until the chicken is shreddable, and I'll show you what I do after. So I've shredded up my chicken, and now I'm just going to add up my linguine in here, or spaghetti. Usually it's spaghetti, and I just break it up into those tiny little pieces, mix that in. Once that cooks down, I add in my spinach and just give that a good stir, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in some cream to that, and then we are done. Alright, so I have gotten a bowl of this out, you guys. It is so good. It is so flavorful and delicious and packed with like veggies and all sorts of yummy stuff. I did want to mention the pasta is just kind of, it's either a half hour or like maybe 45 minutes depending on the cut of pasta. Like if you were to use like fettuccine noodles or like rotini or something like that, it's gonna take a little bit longer. So I would just advise you to just check back on it, especially like after half hour, because it'll probably be done by then. But yeah, this is so delicious and it's so packed with flavor and it's really good for you with all those veggies in it. Super delicious, super easy, dump and go crock pot meal. Alright guys, last but certainly not least, and my favorite of the week is these grown-up spaghettios. They are exactly what they sound like and they are delicious, and I'll show you how I make them. Alright, so I've got everything laid out here. I've got my onion, my beef. I'm adding in extra beef into the slow cooker because I'm going to use it later on in a meat sauce. I'm making lasagna for my mom's birthday a little bit later this week, so I've got an extra pound of meat, so just ignore that. Other than that, everything is the same. I've got some vegetable broth instead of beef broth here. I just grabbed the wrong box and I was like, oh, no problem. It's really good. I love vegetable broth. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and throw everything into the slow cooker except for the pasta and the sauce. The sauce I had to add in a few minutes later because the one that I opened had mold on the top of the jar, so I had to go get a new one. So you don't see me adding that in, but other than that, it would normally go in with everything else. Alright, so it's been about 8.5 hours. My meat is finally ready to be shredded, so I removed almost all of it. There are some little pieces down in there, but most of it I've removed and I'm going to shred it up. I did reserve some, again, remember, for my lasagna later on this week. But before I shred this up and put it back in the pot, I'm going to go ahead and cook up my pasta in there first. This is the ring pasta. I've gotten it from Wegmans. I got this from Lowe's Foods. I've gotten it from Publix before. This is what makes it spaghettios. I just think it was such a fun idea. I didn't really have spaghettios growing up, but I know it's like such a well-loved favorite for many people and many families, especially kids. So I thought it would be fun to kind of make like a nostalgic adult version. And really, it's not even like just for adults. You can definitely feed this to your kids. If you don't like have the cans on hand or whatever, just make this. Although the can is probably easier, this is way more delicious, I can pretty much promise you. So now that I've added my shredded beef back to the pot, I mixed everything together, added just a touch of cream, and this is done. Alright guys, look at that. It is so good. Oh my gosh, I promise. If you make anything from this video, please make this. The ricotta on top is just for, you know, a little bit of extra like leaven on this meal. I added in some freshly chopped parsley because it deserves the fresh parsley, and I actually had it on hand. This is just so good. I would say it's nostalgic, but I never had this growing up, but I'm sure it'll be for those of you who did. And even those of you who didn't, it's like literally like pasta with delicious meat sauce. The meat is like velvety smooth, like the sauce is so rich and delicious. I highly, highly recommend this one, guys. So I was supposed to have a dessert, you guys, but my slow cooker has died on me. I'm so sad. So if you guys let me know in the comments below what kind of slow cooker you have or you suggest, I'm totally open to options because now I'm going to be on the lookout. But that is going to do it for me this week, you guys. I hope you got some dinner inspiration. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more. If you're coming over here from Kelly's channel, thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you here and I hope that you'll stick around. I just want to remind you guys that I will be linking Kelly's channel and her video below. Definitely check her out. I know you guys will love her. I hope you guys all have a blessed and awesome week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!